Okay, let's get into your reading, Sagittarius. Okay, I have to say this. I am seeing an energy here of a proposal. I am seeing that you are going to get married, and I am going to give you all the details in relation to your marriage. And I want you to breathe for a second before we go any further, loves, because a title like this one can feel almost too good to be true at first glance. I promise you, the energy behind it is completely real. And I wouldn't say it this plainly if it weren't you are going to get married. You're going to be very, very happy. There's an energy of you feeling so happy, so giddy, so fulfilled. And I want you to actually picture that feeling for a second, loves. Giddy, the kind of happiness that makes you want to tell someone, anyone, just so it feels even more real. That's the specific texture of what's coming. And I want to name why texture matters, loves. Because vague general happiness is easy to promise. This reading is naming something far more specific. The exact quality of joy that's about to fill your days, not fleeting excitement, loves. Not a spark that fades once the newness wears off. A steady, warm, day after day contentment. The kind you actually get to keep. And I want you to trust that difference, loves, because you'll feel it in your own body when it arrives. A settled ease instead of anxious butterflies. The difference between a firework and a hearth. Fireworks are beautiful, loves, but they burn out fast. A hearth keeps you warm for the whole long winter. And this is a winter kind of love, loves, built to withstand every season that comes, not just the easy sunny ones. And I think that's the most beautiful confirmation of all, loves, because anyone can love you on the good days. This person is built to love you through absolutely all of them. The Six of Cups, do you know what? Let's just look at this card for a second. It is a card of happiness, fulfillment, excitement, feeling loved, feeling appreciated, just feeling good. And I want you to sit with that word good for a second, loves. Because after everything you may have been through, good can feel like such a simple, almost modest thing to hope for. I want you to know it's not modest at all. It's everything. And I want you to let that land fully, loves. Because after years of survival, simply good can feel like the biggest miracle of all. And this is a feel-good energy that is going to come into your life very, very soon. Let me just tell you something, right? Recently, I don't know if it's just you, okay, but I know recently I've been doing a lot of readings based on marriage. Now, I feel like that's not a coincidence because, at certain points, maybe the readings are more geared, towards money. They're geared a bit more towards love. They're geared more towards, but I don't know, this has never happened before where, I've done so many readings back to back on marriage. Like it just hasn't happened on my channel like this. And I want you to really sit with that, loves, because I've been doing this for years now, reading hundreds and hundreds of people for this specific theme to suddenly cluster this heavily over and over tells me something bigger is genuinely shifting right now. And I want you to trust that instinct, loves. The one that noticed this reading pulled you in tonight more than the others might have. That instinct was accurate, loves, and it deserves to keep guiding you long after this reading ends. And I know that if you've been watching me for a while, you know that hasn't happened, but there is a season here where it's almost like the universe is just pushing you in this direction, and it's pushing you towards marriage. And it's pushing you towards, this energy of a long-term partnership, long-term commitment, marriage. It's pushing you towards this really, really beautiful mutual relationship that is going to take place in terms of marriage. And I want you to actually sit with that word season for a moment, loves, because seasons don't arrive randomly. A season of marriage energy, this concentrated, this consistent, means the universe has been quietly aligning things behind the scenes long before you ever notice the pattern yourself. And so whether you have a specific person or not, whether you are single or you're not, one thing for sure is that you are going to get married and you're going to have a beautiful, beautiful relationship that is just very equal, very mutual. There's a real sense here of respect, faithfulness, and honesty, as well as a lot of loyalty, and a person that is a real problem solver, okay? And I want to name why that specific trait matters so much, loves, because so many relationships fall apart not from lack of love, but from someone who simply doesn't know what to do when things get hard. This person is different. Difficulty doesn't scare them away. It draws out their best. And I want you to feel the safety in that, loves, because so many of you have quietly braced for someone to disappear the moment things got hard. This person does the opposite. Hard moments are exactly when they show up the most. And I want you to actually picture that, loves. A hard day, a stressful week, and instead of distance, you feel them get closer. That is such a rare and specific comfort. And I want you to notice how different that is, loves, from relationships where stress creates distance instead of closeness. This person moves toward you precisely when it would be easiest to pull away. And I want you to feel the security in that, loves, because it means the hardest seasons of life won't become the loneliest ones. You'll have someone right there, steady, the entire way through. And I want you to let that land fully, loves, because it means you get to stop preparing yourself to face hard things completely alone. That particular fear finally gets to rest. They want to solve your problems. They want to be there for you. They want you to enjoy life. They want you to feel good. They want you to feel happy. Like, there's a real sense here of this person just really being there for you and wanting the absolute most and the absolute best for you and doing everything they can in their power to make you happy and to see you happy. And I want you to feel the fullness of that devotion, loves, because it isn't rare to find someone who loves you. It's rare to find someone who organizes their actual daily life around your happiness consistently without keeping score of it. And I want to say, loves, that kind of devotion is rare enough that it deserves to be named clearly, not brushed past as just how things are supposed to be. And honestly, there's this sense here of you just feeling so good because you're the kind of person that always wants to see other people happy. And you're going to have this person who wants to see you happy. And you'll be like, how did I win the lottery here? Like, this is literally you feeling like you've won the lottery. And I want you to actually let that feeling in, loves. Instead of immediately bracing for the catch, there isn't one. Some things really are simply as good as they feel. And I want to sit with that specific feeling for a moment, loves. The lottery feeling. Because it isn't about luck in the shallow sense. It's the feeling of finally receiving something you gave so freely for so long, without ever once expecting it back. And the sixes represent here so much harmony, so much balance, and a sense of a person really giving and doing. And you'll be like, yes, I am a giver, and I found a giver. I am a doer, and I found a doer. I am a giver, and I found a giver. I am a lover, and I found a lover. It's just so mutual. It's so mutual. And it's going to make you so, 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 so happy. I'm so excited. I mean, I feel like my energy is like bouncing off the walls right now. It's that kind of excitement. I'm sorry, are the energies not so connected, right? I say things, it comes out on the cards. This is how I work as a reader, and I am so glad that you get to see that very often. You get to see that in my readings, because trust me, it takes so much spiritual practice, behind the scenes to be able to get to a level where whatever I say is literally just coming out on the cards. And I'm so proud of it, okay? I am so proud. And I want to say something about that pride, loves, because it isn't ego. It's the kind of pride that comes from years of quiet discipline finally showing itself in a single undeniable moment. And that is exactly what tonight feels like. And I want to sit with that a little longer, loves, because pride built on real discipline never feels loud or boastful. It feels quiet, settled. The way you feel after finally finishing something you worked at for years. The 10 of Pentacles. So 10 of Pentacles is a marriage card. It is a card of settling down. It is a card of having happiness and joy when it comes to marriage. And it is about, family support. It is about a beautiful, happy home. It's also about finances being really strong. Because one thing I see is that when you get married, your financial situation changes overnight. The person that you're going to marry is going to be someone that comes in and your finances literally just change. And I want to name why that overnight shift matters so much, loves. Because it isn't about the money existing for its own sake. It's about the constant, quiet stress of financial worry finally lifting, freeing up an entire part of your mind that had been carrying weight for far too long. And I want you to imagine that specific relief, loves, the way your shoulders might drop without you even noticing, the way sleep might come easier, simply because one enormous constant worry has finally been lifted from your life entirely. And I want you to know, loves, this isn't just about wealth for its own sake. It's about the freedom that comes when survival stops taking up so much space in your mind, leaving room for everything else you were always meant to build. Your own goals, loves, your own creative ideas, the parts of yourself that got quietly shelved while you were simply trying to survive. All of that gets to come back to life now, not because someone rescued you, loves, but because you finally have the actual space, the actual energy to pick them back up yourself, because they will come with quite a bit of stability and money or inheritance. And it changes the course of your life as well, because you're going to be married to them. And I want you to really receive that phrase, changes the course of your life, loves. Because it isn't only financial, it's the entire shape of your future shifting gently towards something more stable than you may have ever fully let yourself imagine before. And this is someone that really shares, okay? This is not someone that hides their stuff. They share things with you. They want to settle down. They want to have a family. They want to build. They want to grow. They want to have that happiness. And I want you to notice, loves, this is not someone building a separate life alongside you. This is someone building their entire life around you, with you, fully integrated, nothing held back. And I want to name why that word integrated matters so much, loves. Because so many past connections may have kept you in a separate compartment, a private chapter never quite merged into the rest of someone's real life that will never be your experience here. You get to simply exist inside a whole unified life. Loves. No hidden corners, no separate boxes, just one complete story that includes you fully. And I want you to really feel what that means, loves. No more wondering where you stand. No more piecing together fragments of someone's life to guess how much you actually matter. You simply matter visibly, completely. And I want that to sit with you fully, loves, because being seen this plainly, this consistently, is exactly what a real lasting partnership is built on. Not performance, loves. Not chasing, simply two people choosing each other plainly every single day. That choosing, loves, repeated over and over across years, is the actual definition of marriage, far more than any ceremony or ring ever could be. The ring is simply the symbol, loves, the choosing itself, made new every morning, is the actual marriage. And that daily choosing, loves, is exactly what this whole reading has been circling back to over and over in every single card. Joy, stability, peace, true love, transformation, prosperity, all of it circling the same singular truth that you are worthy of being chosen fully and finally are. Let that settle, loves, all the way down before we move into the final part of this reading. The Hanged Man. And on top of that, we also have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man represents a very, very powerful energy, which is to do with the fact that this person brings peace into your life, not problems. And I want to say something about that phrase, loves, peace, not problems, because it sounds so simple, almost too simple to be the whole point. But after everything you may have lived through, simple peace is the whole point. And I want you to actually sit with how radical that simplicity is, loves, after everything that came before it. You're not being asked to settle for ordinary. You're being handed the thing you were quietly craving all along. Sorry, I was just looking at you for a very long time there. But it's so important, right? This person brings peace into your life, not problems. Why is this important? Well, because you don't want problems. It's as simple as that, really, right? We want peace, not problems. And I want to sit with that simplicity for a moment, loves, because so many of you have spent years mistaking chaos for passion, mistaking drama for depth. Real love was never supposed to feel like a constant storm. It was always supposed to feel like this, like exhaling. One thing that you will see a lot, okay, over the next sort of 24 to 48 hours is peace signs. Okay, whether it's someone doing a peace sign, whether it's an emoji of a peace sign, whether it's a peace sign like this, you will see a lot of peace signs. And I want to say, loves, pay attention even to the small ones. A shirt, a poster, someone's hand gesture in passing. The universe rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers through the small, easy-to-miss details. When you see a peace sign, it is directly correlated to this reading. And it's a sign that what I'm saying here is going to happen for you, that what I am seeing for you is taking place for you. And I want to say something about signs like this, loves, because it's easy to dismiss a small peace symbol as pure coincidence, but coincidences don't usually repeat themselves this precisely, this consistently, over such a short window of time. Trust the repetition, loves, because the universe rarely bothers repeating a message to someone who isn't meant to receive it. And I'm telling you plainly, loves, this one was meant for you. And let me just tell you, signs are signs. They are so powerful. They are so universal. It is a sign, okay? It is literally a sign from the universe that this is going to happen for you. And I want you to actually receive that certainty, loves, not as pressure, but as permission. Permission to stop bracing. Permission to simply let it come. The person that you're going to marry is not only very wealthy, but it's also a person that's really, really loyal. It's a person here that actually takes action and initiation. And it's a person here that really wants to see you happy. They want to make your life easier for you, okay? Why? Well, because they don't want to see you struggle, and they bring peace, not problems. And I want to name why avoiding struggle for you matters so much, loves. Because it means their instinct is always protection first, not indifference. When something in your life feels hard, their reflex is to lighten it, not to ignore it. Yes. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Comment down below. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. And I want you to actually say it out loud too, loves. Not just type it silently. There is something about your own voice claiming a phrase like that settles it deeper than reading it ever could. Comment it down below, like this reading, and make sure you're subscribed. I always manifest tenfold abundance to anyone that is interacting with the readings, because first and foremost, you're claiming for this to happen. So you're also sending a sign to the universe that, you know what, you want this to happen. You're sealing in the intention so it happens for you, But also at the same time, when you claim energy, you are literally inviting it into your life. You're making it happen for yourself, right? So make sure you like, comment down below, and subscribe, because you are giving your energy to this, and therefore you are acknowledging that it's something that you want. Then the universe also acknowledges it. And I want to explain why that acknowledgement matters so much, loves, because the universe responds to specificity, not vague, half-formed wishes. A real spoken claim gives it something concrete to actually build toward. And also, on top of that, I always say that I manifest that this reading only finds you if it's meant for you. So if you're here, it's meant for you. And I want you to hold on to that, loves, especially on the days doubt creeps back in. Out of every reading you could have found tonight, you found this one. That was never a coincidence. And in order to be able to receive, be willing to give a like, comment, and a subscribe, because I'm putting so much of my energy into this, every day, okay? And I mean that, loves. This practice, this discipline, it's real. And it's the reason I can sit here and tell you these things with this much certainty. Speechless, speechless, speechless. The Ace of Cups, it's coming. Ace of Cups, it's coming. These two birds represent peace. The peace sign represents peace. And it's also a sign. There you go. There's your sign. It's literally there. And also, this is true love. It's an offer. It's an offer of marriage. It signifies proposal. It signifies equal, mutual relationship, right? And I want to sit with the word equal for a moment, loves, because so many of you have carried relationships that were quietly lopsided, where you gave more, waited more, adjusted more. This card is confirming plainly that pattern is ending. And I want you to actually feel that ending, loves. Not just hear it as a nice phrase. You are stepping into something where the effort finally matches on both sides every single time. And I want you to feel that shift in your own body, loves. The exhale that comes from finally not having to be the one who carries more, gives more, tries harder than the other person. Two birds that are in sync and in harmony, not disconnected. And I want to sit with that image a moment longer, loves. Two birds facing each other, mirrored, moving in the exact same rhythm. Neither one leading, neither one following. Just two creatures who have found their match and know it. And I want you to sit with that image, loves, because that is exactly the energy this proposal carries. Not one of you chasing, not one of you unsure, simply two people finally, plainly certain. And I want you to hold on to that image, loves, because it's the whole heart of this reading. Not one person chasing while the other stays uncertain, but two people moving together, already in step. I'm telling you, oh my God, I just keep saying, oh my God, okay. It's going to change for you first and foremost, okay? This person, yes, they bring a lot of money, but they're super, super loyal, super kind. They're going to come to you. They're going to do this, right? They're going to want a marriage with you. All you're going to have to do is say whether you accept or not and whether you want this or not, right? Like, that's really important, especially when they come to you. And I want to make sure you hear that clearly, loves, because this reading is not taking your own choice away from you. It is showing you what's coming toward you. What you do with it, fully, entirely, remains yours to decide. And I want you to feel the respect in that, loves. Because a reading that truly serves you never removes your own agency. It simply shows you the door opening. Walking through it fully on your own timeline stays entirely yours. Everything is going to progress. Everything's going to come together. And I want you to feel the momentum in that phrase, loves, Because progress like this rarely happens in one dramatic leap. It happens in a series of smaller pieces suddenly clicking into place, one after another, until the full picture is undeniable. You don't need every piece to arrive at once, loves. You just need the first domino to tip, and it already has. Butterflies. We have this energy of butterflies, which indicate transformation. And look, butterflies, okay, it signifies transformation. You go from this not happening to suddenly it happening. And I want to sit with that transformation a moment, loves, because a caterpillar doesn't know it's becoming a butterfly while it's still inside the cocoon from where you're standing right now. This might still feel like waiting, but the wings are already forming. And I want to remind you, loves, you don't need to see the wings yet to trust that they're growing. The caterpillar never gets a preview either. It simply trusts the process and emerges anyway. The Wheel of Fortune and the Wheel of Fortune, which shows that everything is moving. It's such a prosperous energy. It's full of abundance. Your life is literally going to change because this person will come into your life. They will do this. They will progress things along. And then, you're going to be in a marriage. And that just changes the course of your future. But also, so much money is coming as well in relation to it. And I want to name why the money keeps showing up alongside the marriage energy, loves, because it isn't a coincidence sitting off to the side. When the right partnership finally arrives, it tends to bring stability into every area of life at once, not just the romantic one. And I want to sit with the wheel for a moment longer, loves, because this card never asks permission before it turns. It simply turns. And it is turning for you right now, whether you can fully feel the motion yet or not. And before the final message, I want to leave you with 3 small things to hold on to, loves. The first, watch for those peace signs over the next day or two, and actually let each one land as the confirmation it is, rather than a coincidence you talk yourself out of. Keep a small note if it helps, loves, your phone, a notebook, anywhere you'll actually see it. By the end of these 2 days, you'll have real tangible proof of exactly how present this energy has been around you. And that proof matters, loves, not to convince anyone else, but to convince the part of you that still needs a little evidence before it fully believes. And that proof matters, loves, not to convince anyone else, but to convince the part of you that still needs a little evidence before it fully believes. The second, when this person does come forward, take your time with your own answer. The reading is clear that acceptance is entirely your choice. And a choice this big deserves to be made from clarity, not urgency. There is no wrong pace here, loves, as long as it's genuinely your own. A fast yes and a slow yes are both completely valid, as long as they come from you fully, without anyone else's timeline pressuring your own. Not even mine, loves. Not even the eagerness in my own voice tonight. This is your life, your decision, your pace. And the third, don't mistake the peace this person brings for a lack of passion. The Hanged Man and Ace of Cups both confirmed real depth here, just without the chaos you may have once mistaken for love. And I want you to release any guilt about that old mistake, loves, because so many of us were taught quietly that intensity equals love. It doesn't. Real love feels calm, not because it lacks depth, but because it has nothing left to prove. And I want to answer one more thing before the final message. Loves, why this reached you now with this much specific detail. You needed to see the full shape of this marriage energy before it arrives, so that when the small signs start showing up, you recognize them fully instead of dismissing them. And I want to speak to the small doubting part of you for a moment, loves. The one that's read all of this and is quietly thinking, but what if this doesn't actually happen? That voice is not wisdom. It's a pattern built from disappointment, trying to protect you from hoping too much. Just for tonight, loves, set that voice down completely. I don't build a reading with this much specific detail, loves, unless the pull toward it was genuinely strong. The Six of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the Ace of Cups, the butterflies, the Wheel of Fortune, every single one agreeing with every other one. That consistency deserves your trust, and I want you to hold on to that trust, loves. The next time an old doubt tries to creep back in, the answer has already been given. Clearly, repeatedly. This is already in motion, loves. The Six of Cups showed the pure joy and fulfillment already forming. The Ten of Pentacles showed the marriage, the family, and the finances already aligning. The Hanged Man showed the peace already replacing old chaos. The Ace of Cups showed the true mutual proposal already taking shape. And the Butterflies and Wheel of Fortune showed the transformation and prosperity already turning in your favor. Stay open, loves. Let it arrive. So let me lay this all out one final time, loves, slowly so it settles into your bones. You are going to get married, and this marriage is going to change the entire course of your life. The Six of Cups confirmed the pure joy and fulfillment already forming around you. The Ten of Pentacles confirmed real financial stability, family, and a beautiful home. The Hanged Man confirmed a person who brings peace into your life, never problems. The Ace of Cups confirmed a true, mutual, equal proposal already taking shape. And the Butterflies and Wheel of Fortune confirmed real transformation and prosperity already turning in your favor. Whether you are single right now or already know exactly who this is, the energy is the same. Steady, loyal, mutual, and completely wholeheartedly yours. And I want to leave you with one final thought, loves, before we close completely a year from now. Or maybe far sooner than that. You're going to look back on this exact reading, the one where you sat here wondering if any of this was real, and you're going to smile at how much you worried, the way we always smile at old fears once life has finally plainly answered them. So let tonight be the last night you carry that particular doubt, loves, because everything in this reading points in one single direction, toward you, finally fully chosen. One message. Watch for the peace signs. Let this arrive exactly as it's meant to. Claim this, loves. Drop a comment and say, I am ready. Because every word of that is true. Save this. Come back and tell me when it happens. I genuinely mean that, loves, not as a formality to close out a reading. Readings like this one only feel complete to me once I hear how they actually landed in someone's real life. So tell me, loves, the next time you see a peace sign, tell me where you were. Tell me what you were doing. I want to know how this actually unfolds for you. I read every comment, loves, even the ones I can't always reply to individually. Your story becomes part of the reason this message keeps finding its way to the next person who needs it too. If this resonated, please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment, and tell me what hit hardest. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Take care of yourself. Bye, loves.